Boston because I'm going to Boston University. I first came here in September of 2010, and I majored in journalism. I'll be graduating this May in journalism, and that's what brought me to the city. I think I first heard about Stride through going to SDA churches, and people had told me that there was a youth ministry that was specifically for college students and people basically who were in my position. So I think that I went to a few events and went to the Friday night Vespers that was at Harvard, and got to meet a lot of people, got to meet a lot of people who were doing Stride and were professionals and working and doing the program, and that's how I first got affiliated with it. The experience was good for me because as a student, coming to a new city, I really came to Boston and I came for school, but I didn't really know anybody else in Boston. So coming to a place where I could find, people with something that I had in common with them that was very important to me, and I've been raised in the church and everything like that, it was really nice to find that community and to find people who are really trying to reach out to people my age, because it is a time when you're a freshman and throughout all of college that you're just, I think especially as a Christian, you're just thinking of a lot of different things, and you have to deal with maybe more questions than you were used to dealing when you were in middle school and high school. It's your first introduction to the real world, and having Stride was good because I was able to talk with people who had chosen to learn more about God, to strengthen their relationship with God, and it was a great example for me, I suppose, as a young man. I came to the Amory House for a bunch of events, that Stride had. I also remember I had an internship that I actually heard about through Angelo Grasso, who, leader of Stride, and he told me about it, and I was able to work at this media company that focused specifically on Christian ministry, and during that time in the summer I was able to live at the Stride House. So it was a huge help to me to be able to live here in such a beautiful area, but also with people who were, coming together every week or every few days. People would come into the house, or people who were living here, and also had the common goal of strengthening a relationship with God. Actually, the first time that I remember being asked a question more about my faith was from somebody who was going to church, and she essentially asked me a very simple question, which is, why are you a Seventh-day Adventist? And it really took me a very, very long time to formulate an answer as to, yes, I go to church, but why exactly do I go to church? And why do I decide to go to church on Saturday instead of Sunday? And, so on and so forth. And that was just, I think, the introduction for me. That person was somebody who I had met through Stride, and Samara Sterling. And, that for me was like the introduction of a whole bunch of questions asked by other people, the questions that I would ask myself about, but why do I actually choose to live in this way? And I think that's something that's really good about Stride, is that it's not just a group of people who are, trying to reach out to other people, which is great, but it's also people who are trying to understand themselves more. Why do I believe in this God, and learning more about Him so that you can really build up that trust and that faith in Him, because He is a real God. I think Stride is important because, especially for students, and for students who are young and coming into freshman year, and sometimes a new city, you don't know anybody, it's a great sense of community. It's a great group for people to really just come together and find that common ground of, we're all trying to, understand further our relationship with God and learn more about Him. I think it's great because it gets you involved in a lot of events and things like that, and you meet more people, you can make more connections, whether it's just for friendships or professionally or whichever. You can just form that group that's kind of, a support group in a way, because when there are times when you're a student or a professional or whichever, and you may have serious questions that you feel like can't be answered, or that you can't answer yourself, and the fact that you can come to a place with people who may also have the same question, or who may have had that question before and kind of found a way to answer it through group discussion or through the Bible, it's a great thing, because it allows you to stay on a path that I think that God has set all of us a path and a purpose. So it's really fantastic because of the community and just the fact that you're really furthering your knowledge of why you are a Christian and why you want to spread the gospel to other people.
Unite with us in prayer and in sacrificial giving. Join the campaign at rally.org/stride.